Dream Chase Boxing. Your question is GGG the most overhyped, overrated, biggest diva in boxing? My short answer, no. Now, if you would have asked, are his fans some of the most annoying motherfuckers on YouTube? I would have said yes. Are his fans delusional? Yes. Okay, are his fans irrational? Yes. Okay, I would have checked yes. But you're asking, is Gennady Golovkin the most overrated, overhyped, biggest diva in boxing? Right? Look, Gennady Golovkin is one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound. Right? Some argue the best, but I'm not here to make a list, okay? That's another discussion. He's the best middleweight in the world. Martinez ducked him. Chavez Jr. ducked him. Miguel Cotto ducked him. Canelo ducked him. Kid Chocolate ducked him. Danny Jacobs ducked him. What's the name of that dude over there in England? That beat Andy Lee or whatever? Right? Ducked him. So, we have the situation where this guy is being ducked by everyone in his division. That's just a reality. I don't subscribe, nor do I agree with the notion that Gennady Golovkin hasn't done enough when he's getting ducked by everybody. Right? I'm not going to blame the guy being ducked because fights at middleweight didn't get done. Okay, that's not the way I roll. All right. Could you make an argument that he just hasn't done enough to make those fights happen? At that point, you're going to be playing Mr. Fantastic, and you're just reaching. Okay, that's just my honest opinion. All right. The Cal Brook fight, is it the very best fight he could have done? No. Right. So look, I get it. Right. To me, I kind of see it similar to when Corey Spinks moved up to fight, Jermaine Taylor, right? And Corey Spinks was not that far off from, getting knocked out by Zab Judah, a much smaller guy than Taylor. Yet, he did fight him, and they did put that fight on HBO. And some people argue that Spinks, in one of the worst fights I've ever seen, by the way, but that Spinks won that fight. Brian Kenny makes that argument. So we just don't know what's going to happen here. And of course, if Gennady Golovkin gets beat by Cal Brook, yes, I'm going to come on here. I'm going to point at all his fans and laugh. Okay, I'm going to do that, right? Just because I don't particularly like a lot of his fans, right? But I do like the fighter, right? I do like Gennady Golovkin, despite what his fanatics think. Okay, I'm a huge fan of the guy. I think he's exciting to watch. I think he's a very skilled fighter. I think he has a lot to offer the sport. I think he's going to crush Cal Brook. And once he's done with Cal Brook, would I like him to move up to 168? Absolutely. All right. I would like him to. I would like to see him fight. Whoever's available. Andy Gale. Okay, I think that's a great matchup. And yes, guys like Andre Ward, Kovalev. I would like to see Gennady Golovkin fight those guys. But most importantly, though, I'm an advocate of guys conquering their division. These guys at middleweight need to step up, and they need to fight the guy already, right? Step up. I would love to see Danny Jacobs fight Gennady Golovkin. I give Danny Jacobs a better shot at beating Golovkin than most people, right? So that's a matchup I would like to see. He has a better shot than Cal Brook, right? So I would like to see some fights at middleweight, man, with Gennady Golovkin. That's my opinion, right? I'm not against either or. Do I want to see him fight, a bunch of welterweights? No, right? The only circumstance I'm okay with a welterweight fighting Gennady again is if that welterweight moves up to 154, conquers that, moves up to middleweight, does some damage there, and then maybe he could fight Golovkin. Very similar to the way De La Hoya and Trinidad did, at the very least. But we don't have De La Hoyas and Trinidads running around in welterweight right now. Okay, and we definitely don't have a Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, so with that said, a lot of great stuff going on in boxing, man, and I just can't agree that Golovkin, of all the fighters in the sport, is the most overrated, the most hyped, the biggest diva. You know, by default that can't be true because the divas in his division have ducked him, right? I mean, they ran away and you could see the trail of feathers. Okay, these chickens just don't want to fight the guy. So that's what I'll leave it with, man. All right. So with the matchups I've seen, okay, in boxing this year alone, okay, this is, as much as I'm not excited about the fight, I haven't been excited about a lot of fights, number one. But this fight, right, Brooke versus Gennady Golovkin, is not the worst fight of the year, right? It's just not. So it's not the best fight, like, again, don't get me wrong, but it's not the worst fight either. And the reason I'm pinpointing that fight is because I believe this fight in particular is what has opened the Pandora's box here for Gennady Golovkin and the criticism he's been receiving. No one's above criticism, right? I encourage anyone who wants to criticize any fighter to go ahead and do so. That includes Gennady Golovkin, right? But in my opinion, no, he's not the biggest, overrated, yada, 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 the whole nine. Peace out. I'm out.